Hey Sneaky Nation, welcome back to some more Warframe. In this episode, we're going to have the Nyx Prime intro finally in the series. Don't forget to click like to show your support, and if you're new, join the rest of us in Sneaky Nation by clicking subscribe. So let's do this. Before we get going, we're going to check out our arsenal. So we obviously have Nyx Prime in the Warframe slot. She's currently ranked 21, first video she ever appears in the series. So in the aura mod slot, we have Energy Siphon to regenerate her energy over time, and then Streamline to increase power efficiency so she can cast her abilities more often. Vitality, Redirection, and Steel Fiber, of course, are all on there. As I mentioned, I like to do with all Warframes until they get up to rank 30. Vitality's for health, Redirection for shield, and then Steel Fiber for armor. Now, obviously, I'm going to be taking Steel Fiber off eventually because she doesn't have a very high base armor value, so it's not really helping her all that much. And then Stretch to increase the range that her abilities go. Continuity to increase the duration which they're active. And then Rage at the max rank converts 40% of damage on health to energy. Now, this obviously won't be the ideal setup for her. I'm going to change it around once I get up to 30. I might even polarize her a little bit to mess around, but this will be the lineup for this video. We also have the Boltor Prime, the Sikaris Prime, and the Dacker Prime's coming back as well. I'm a big fan of this. We also have Crimson Dervish on there, so it should be a whole lot better than last time you saw it in the series. And Sasha actually polarized her. That's why she's down to rank 3. We put one of these icons on there so that she can, you know, increase her health and shields and whatnot. We also have to put some more V-shaped ones. There's so much potential for her, it's crazy. Like, I can still rank this up a lot. But anyways, enough of that jibber jabber. Another thing I want to point out, you may be wondering what that is on my back. Well, in case you haven't ever used Platinum in the game, this is one of these attachments. If you go into Appearance, down to Attachments, and then this very first slot here, these are like, I mean, they're basically like capes and stuff. They add like a little cosmetic feature to the Warframe. That's pretty cool. You can change the color of them. I mean, there's certain ones that look better with certain Warframes. Like, they may not all necessarily look cool with this one, even though this one looks really cool, actually. I kind of want to get that one. But certain ones I think will look better with different ones. Like, I don't know, that one is kind of weird looking, but this is really cool. This was part of the pack that Henny actually gifted me in, if you were here for the previous episode of the Frost Prime intro. It's on the marketplace. It's 100 platinum, and it includes some other skins for weapons and whatnot, like the Bolto, which I actually just built, so I'm going to check out the skin for that as well in the future. I mean, there's also other cool things you can do in case you weren't aware, like you can put on these different armor pieces, which I'm actually going to do now because I bought the, what's this, the Day Dallas armor set on the bundle section of the market. I think it looks a whole lot better. I mean, it's only for cosmetic purposes, but it kind of changes the way they look a lot. Like, see the shoulder guards there, the leg guards. There's also a chest piece there if you can barely see it. I mean, it's really cool. It's just something to make the game a little bit better. And you can change the colors of these down here. This affects just the attachments, and then this affects just the Warframe. Alright, but anyways, that was a lot more jibber jabber than I was expecting to go through. So what we're gonna do is head into a void mission, and we're gonna do something that's well suited for her particular abilities. Like, for example, she's pretty good at mobile defense, so let's go do a Tower 2 mobile defense. It'll be in the Orokin faction. The levels range from 20 to 30. Let's go get them. Infiltrated.
This is a mobile defense mission. You must deliver payloads and defend a number of locations while I break into the network. Be prepared for heavy resistance. I can't do this without you.
Of course you can't, Lotus. We do all the work, you just boss us around. Okay, so one of the prime benefits is, of course, going in void missions. If you come across any of the orbs, you run past those, you get free 250 energy, which I think is actually more than the max that my Nyx Prime currently holds. We have to go all the way over here. And as you can see, it does look a whole lot different in the game with all these attachments on the Warframe. So it's pretty cool. You can even change like the helmet and everything on the Prime, so they don't necessarily look like Primes anymore if you do that. Like, I'm going to do that with my Mag Prime shortly. I want to keep the Prime Nyx helmet on here just so you can see what it looks like. But I'm probably going to put it for the Nyx Nemesis skin, which is actually the skin that I'm using right now on her too. I also changed her color scheme, obviously, because it doesn't look like the default look. I think it looks a little bit better, for sure. Alright, so first up, she has all the same abilities as regular Nyx. We're going to mind control him because he's a strong enemy and he's going to help us out a lot. We're also going to cast Chaos, This will cause all the enemies to go crazy and they'll attack each other, at least the ones within my range. You can see which ones are currently affected by the ability. We also have the very useless Psychic Bolt, which goes out and attacks, but it doesn't do very much damage. And best of all, we have Absorb. So everybody comes over, they start shooting me, I'm absorbing all of their damage, and then I'm going to cast it right back out on them, like so. I didn't really absorb all that much, but it can potentially get a lot better than that. Now, a really cool thing about mind control is if you actually shoot the enemy... Oh man, Sasha, no! Alright, let's always keep Chaos going if you have Nyx. That's probably her most important ability. But as I was saying, another important thing about mind control is if you have it active on a particular enemy, which I don't have enough energy for, let me see. Let's cast it on him, for example. Now, all the damage I do to him while this is active will be inflicted upon him as soon as it's over, so I can have him actually get killed immediately upon the ability wearing off.
Still working on it.
The benefit to that's obviously that it's going to help me out greatly, because he's a strong enemy. Let's pull up the Nyx Prime too, I want to get going with this. Oh man, look at this! So powerful! Slicing everybody in half. Alright, we lost our Chaos, we need to put that back on. I mean, my duration's not very good with this. Still need to get much higher level and everything. Alright. Alright, power's still in use. That's really dumb. Okay, let's mind control him really quick. He's not very strong, but he'll at least help us out a little bit. Plus, if we get our actual power efficiency up high enough, then we can keep casting it without even worrying about it ever again. Alright, now that we have another heavy gunner here, we're going to mind control him instead. That'll obviously cancel it out on the previous one that I had. You can only do one at a time. I'm not sure if there are any, like, what are those things called? I can't remember the name of them. They're like little... They're separate mods, but you can actually use them to make some abilities stronger. Like, this is supposedly one that actually somehow helps out Psychic Bolts. I'm not sure exactly how that works. But it apparently does. I don't think it makes it actually a useful ability, but it's at least something. Okay, so that's about that. We got that all settled. Obviously, if you have the choice between Nyx Prime and regular Nyx, you want to go with Nyx Prime, but that's really up to you, I guess. A lot of people don't want to spend all the time farming in the void to get all the pieces to build the Prime Warframes. The actual benefits to them aren't necessarily all that great either, unless there's like some serious like base stat changes. Like for example, Loki Prime has a much higher... What the hell? Took a wrong turn. Oops. And Loki Prime has a higher max energy that he can potentially hold, so he can cast a lot more abilities than regular Loki can. So there's little things like that. We'll take a look at Nyx Prime versus regular Nyx right after this is over, just so we can compare the two. We don't need to stick around any longer. That is officially mission complete.
Another job well executed.
Just a Bull Prime blueprint. We've gotten so many of those. I just can't find the handle. I know where it drops. It's just so annoying getting there. So this is my regular Nyx. As you can see, she's very fierce looking. She has the complete Nemesis loadout on. She has the helmet and the skin. Looks a whole lot cooler than the regular default look. But that's beside the point. So what we're trying to see here is how they compare. So as you can see in the bottom right corner of the screen, the armor goes from 15 on regular Nyx up to 50 on Nyx Prime. So obviously there is a much bigger beneficial value to that. It'll help you stay alive longer. I mean, you may not use steel fiber anyway, so it may be kind of like a negligible factor, but still, every little bit counts really. And before we get going, I just want to show you what the Nyx Nemesis, Nyx Prime, or actually it's Nyx Nemesis helmet looks like on there instead. So look at that. That looks a lot better than... I mean, they both look pretty cool. Like, this one does look pretty awesome. But I personally prefer the entire Nyx Nemesis loadout. She looks so epic. Oh, man. Do not cross her in a dark alleyway. Unless you're into that kind of thing. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for watching. As always, I do hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to click like to show your support. And if you're new, join the rest of us in Seeking Nation by clicking subscribe. And I will see you